Live from the SoCap Comedy Theater in beautiful downtown Toronto, it's And the Scotch Eggs Comedy Game Showdown. Please welcome your host, Dan Donnelly.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to And a Scotch Eggs Comedy Game Showdown. I am Dan Donnelly, and I will be your host this evening. This is our annual Halloween special, and almost everybody here is dressed up, which is wonderful to see. As you can see, I am wearing the lowest effort costume possible. This is actually just an excuse for me to wear pajamas on stage because the last month between the last show and this show was I went to LA for a week, got home, immediately got the flu from the plane. I haven't had a normal meal in a week, and then this morning I threw my back out lying on the couch, and I have been in the worst pain of my life for about the last 16 hours, but thanks to a mix of the Necronomicon and the Pharmacopeon, I will be up and about, hopefully, for the rest of the next hour. And if not, you guys can drag me out feet first, which is how I always intended to go. I'm 80% sure it's not a heart attack, but I can't breathe without chest pain. Are you guys ready to have a fun time with your show tonight? Excellent. We're going to get started in just a minute, but first, a quick word from our sponsor, Veterinary Insulin.
Although our show is based here in beautiful downtown Toronto, this ad is for our listeners in the US, where advertising of prescription drugs is somehow legal, for reasons that I'm sure have nothing to do with the fact that they're also outrageously expensive in your fucked up healthcare system. So this Halloween season, we'd like to remind those of you south of the border that veterinary insulin is a convenient and affordable way to mitigate those pesky glucose spikes associated with eating an entire bucket of Halloween candy in one sitting. My cat Roy, definitely not pictured here immediately after having been caught licking his own butthole, has been a proud involuntary user of veterinary insulin for years now, after he, like you, was metabolically poisoned by the overprocessed, corn-filled North American food supply. Or maybe he just licked up too many of my toast crumbs because he never learned from Scott Pilgrim that bread makes you fat. In any case, it worked for us, and honestly, I care way more about him than you. Veterinary insulin. It's basically the same stuff they give people. I think. Good luck down there.
All right. We're going to bring up your two teams of contestants. First up, please welcome the Freaks.
Nikki Ashworth, Evan Klim, and Keegan Hawkeswood. And up against the Freaks, their mortal enemies, the Eeeeks. Please welcome Andrew Lizotte, Marc Hallworth, and Ryan Zeitz.
All right. Are you guys ready? All right. Are you guys ready? Excellent. We are going to get started with a pop quiz. First question. The category is Children of the Corn Syrup. What is the most popular Halloween candy in America? Yes, Evan.
Okay, so it's nerds because Americans love to eat nerds.
I didn't know your wife was American.
Oh, shit.
North American.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, Marc?
This is only for the rich neighborhoods, but those big-ass cans of pop. Remember
Yeah.
cans of pop? Fuck yeah. I got 2 liters one time. Sick.
On the bright side, you can use your sack full of full pop cans as a weapon when you get back to your neighborhood.
Okay. All right.
Where, I guess, what, they just give out empties?
Give out empties? No, they don't. You take the empties and then bring them to the beer store. Sorry. Sherborne had done us for life. Fuck you guys.
All right. Yes, Ryan?
Yeah, it was probably a hot tamales before Trump started talking about building the wall.
Yeah. He's oddly interested in Pink Floyd. You wouldn't think that Trump would be such a Pink Floyd fan. But then when you read what Roger Waters posts about Russia, it makes sense. Yes, Nikki?
A single Tic Tac. That's the economy for you.
Yeah. I remember when you could get a whole package of refreshing mints for just 250 lira.
That's a callback to a former episode where we learned that Tic Tacs used to be called refreshing mints.
Yeah. Yes.
Fun fact, this is the only time of the year they can access Plan B.
Ooh. Which they also pop like Tic Tacs. Yes.
The real popular candy are the friends you make along the way.
Ah. Also known as nerds. Yeah. Yeah, Keegan.
I once spent a Halloween in Arkansas, and it was whatever was in your cousin's mouth.
Oh.
Cowboy hat.
All right. That's enough of that, I think. The real answer is Skittles. Skittles are the most popular Halloween candy in America. And we have Skittles right here. For anybody who hasn't gotten the free candy, there's free candy on the table in the back of the room there. We're going to move on to the next question. The category is Hangin' with Mr. Myers. According to a 2021 YouGov poll, what do 21% of adults do on Halloween? Yes, Andrew.
Get revenge on the teens that tried to murder them last summer?
To be fair, the actual death was accidental, but as we learned from Nixon, they really nail you on the cover-up. Literally in this case. Yeah. Yes, Ryan.
Have a gay awakening while dressed up like a slut. Has nothing to do with what I'm wearing right now whatsoever.
Yeah, nothing at all. For the listeners at home, Ryan is dressed as Dr. Frankenfurter again this year, presumably because Halloween provides plausible deniability for him, as it does with many people exploring their identity issues. Yes, Keegan.
I'm going to say encourage gay awakenings for straight men dressed like Ryan.
It's even worse. My girlfriend helped me do my makeup today, too.
You know, it shouldn't matter what he's wearing. You should come on to him anyway. Yes. Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay, so, they do that fucked up thing where Jimmy Kimmel, he challenges people and encourages them and tells parents to, take humiliating videos of their kids where they say that they ate their Halloween candy and it's really fucked up. It's so funny.
Yeah. I think that started as a bit on The Man Show, didn't it?
I don't know.
All right. Yes, Ryan.
What do 21% of adults do on Halloween? Something the other 79% clearly don't.
That is true. That's the nature of this question.
That's a math joke.
That's what we're sussing out right here. You may be familiar with sus. Go ahead.
How about 21% of adults do on Halloween? They misspelled the word porn when they're trying to find out you porn. They go to YouGov and they're pissed off.
Is that why so many people give out candy porn?
Is that a thing?
Candy porn?
No, only in the rich neighborhoods.
Yeah,
maybe.
only in the rich neighborhoods. A full bottle of pop and some candy porn. All right, that's enough of that. The correct answer is they pretend not to be home when trick-or-treaters ring the doorbell.
Rude. Smart.
Yeah.
No, that's smart.
It is, right? All right. We're going to move on to the next one, which is Transylvanian representation. Why was Bela Lugosi cast in the title role of the 1931 Universal classic Dracula? Yes, Evan.
The same reason anyone gets cast in anything. Nepotism.
Keegan?
He was actually already notorious for biting women on the neck, so, just a natural fit.
Yeah. Usually that gets you into the production side, but I'm glad that it helped him with his career in acting. Yes.
Why? Because he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Did anybody else have, were you under the impression as a child and maybe until you were scarily late into your teens that vampires suck the blood through their teeth like straws?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Wait, they don't do that? No. That's crazy. Really?
Well, in, what was the name of that?
What do you mean? Well, I guess they're sucking them with their throats. I don't know. I had never thought about it, yeah.
I think it's from reading Bunnicula or something, because I think Bunnicula does that. There's also that 90s one where the vampires are like metaphors for heroin addicts and they actually shoot up the blood, which I find really, really
so
fun.
The next logical question is, are they plastic teeth or paper teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, save the turtles.
Right?
Yeah, we gotta watch out for that.
Imagine being the first vampire testing the paper teeth.
Oh, this is useless. I can't do anything.
I'll have to reuse the straw from my boba.
I guess I could get a metal one, I guess.
You like my grill?
Oh, that would be very funny. Yeah, Andrew.
Fun fact, Bela Lugosi was actually hired because he also doesn't cast a reflection, so they just saved a whole bunch of money on special effects.
Yeah. Did you guys know that while they were filming 1931 Dracula, they used the same sets at night to film a Spanish language version of the exact same movie with the same script in Spanish and different actors? And this was something that Hollywood, because this was the very beginning of talkies. And so Hollywood thought, well, we can still distribute worldwide. We'll just film every movie in multiple languages. And so Spanish Dracula premiered in Cuba in 1931 and then was basically lost for 40 years. But you can watch it now if you want to. Yeah.
Does the guy go, yo quiero beber? I'm
Yo quiero beber tu sangre.
Sounds pretty close.
Tu sangre. Can you do Spanish with a Transylvanian accent? Is the question. Oh, it's because all of my Spanish knowledge comes from Argentina because I know the wrong kind of people. All right. Anybody else? Yes, Nikki.
It's to ensure that Bauhaus could later write a song about him dying for the Goths. Bela Lugosi's dead. Look it up.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew.
This was still a time when it was really funny for people to be different. So Dracula was originally a comedy called Silly Foreigner Goes on Vacation with Wacky Accent.
Yeah, Manuel from Fawlty Towers, which was originally supposed to be a Bela Lugosi type. Yeah.
Back when movies were movies.
All right. Anyone else on Dracula? All right. That's good because we have several more Dracula questions. So the real answer is that it was based on a 1924 play, and Lugosi had been in that play on Broadway playing the lead role. So it was a pretty natural step.
But how did he get that role? Was it nepotism?
He was just particularly talented at holding his cape in front of his face like this.
Like the guy from Ed Wood.
Yes, exactly. Very much like the guy from Ed Wood. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on to the next question. The category is Afterlife of the Party. Speaking of Dracula, what does he shout at the collected monstrous party guests in the 1962 Bobby Pickett classic, Monster Mash? Yes, Nikki.
Sleep coffin, Canada. Why buy a coffin anywhere else? Bing.
Note to listeners, Sleep Coffin Canada operates in Quebec as Mourez-vous. Yes, Ryan.
One party guest. Two party guests.
Yeah, that's about as far as he got at my birthday.
Tres party guests.
No, ha 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 with the J.
Sí. Perdóname.
Mark.
He comes out and he goes, OJ, cola, purple stuff, Sunny D. And then everybody,
Oh no! And then he burns to death. It's not just Blackula who prefers the purple stuff in this case. Anyone else? No, you're just gonna let my Dave Chappelle reference, which also does not work anymore. Never mind. Go ahead.
He jumps out and he says, Sigmund Freud says I represent castration fantasy.
I always thought castration anxiety came from getting too close to the mummy. Yeah.
He says, actually, that's Frankenstein's monster. Dr. Frankenstein is who you're thinking of.
Yes, Evan.
Oh, great. This party's going great. Wait, who invited P. Diddy? What the heck?
Why is there so much baby oil? Yeah.
Who took a poop in here?
similar poop joke. In reference to that Dane Cook album. Hey, somebody shit on the coats. Does anybody remember that old joke from like 2006?
I was alive in 2003. I remember that.
Good. Dane Cook and Dave Chappelle made an appearance for this question. We're so glad. All right. Anybody else for Monster Mash? All right. He opens his coffin, shakes his fist angrily, and says, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
That's it. And then they all go, "It's now the mash," which implies
It's
they
the
stole
monster
his
mash.
dance or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, this is a twist and this is a match.
Yeah, man, we all know. It's not the same. And then he becomes part of the band, and everyone's cool with it.
Yeah.
That song rolls, actually.
Yeah, it's great.
Slaps.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one. The category is We Demand McNeil. The Exorcist is perhaps best known for the scene in which Regan McNeil spins her head and vomits on the people and the room around her. While commonly thought to be pea soup, the effect was in fact achieved with what other substance? Yes, Keegan.
I don't know, but I'd probably be vomiting too if I was laying in bed surrounded by a bunch of priests.
Yeah. It is the fastest way to train your gag reflex, though. Yes, Andrew.
Fun fact, the prop was actually the craft services pump.
No, the craft services pumps just had week old chili and nacho cheese, but there was a vacuum pump involved, as there often is when you're in a bed surrounded by priests. Yeah, Nikki.
A masticated Kermit the Frog puppet.
Oh no, a clear case of flocking gone wrong. That is what flocking is, right? I'm still not clear
Flocking
on
is
that.
the fuzzy part on puppets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Assuming they're flocked, which
Yeah.
I used to do professionally, so I know a lot about flocking. Sorry.
So when it catches in your gullet and you vomit it up like a hairball, that's what we got in The Exorcist?
Genuinely, if you inhaled flocking, you'd probably die.
Yeah. You probably get puppet lung, and you can join a class action suit against. All right. Yes, Marc.
Not a lot of people know this, but Regan McNeil was the original Hawkeswood girl.
Yeah. Is that why she has a big podcast now? Yeah.
Okay, so it was actually slime from the Nickelodeon's Kids' Choice Awards.
Not you can't do that on television.
You know, it's the Canadian version. They got the American version. I believe this was done in America. So there you go.
Okay, so it's the American formulation of the slime.
That's right.
Okay.
So now,
Guns.
now we're talking about we've covered Dane Cook, we've covered Diddy. Now we're talking about Nickelodeon.
Actually, the difference in the slime, is just that they use corn syrup instead of cane sugar.
Whoa, hey!
Dan really wants to talk about slime, guys.
I think I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no,
Okay.
you're good.
Continue with your Diddy joke.
I had a little ditty ready for you. Hey.
Hey. All right. Anybody else for the real pea soup? All right. It was, in fact, porridge with pea soup coloring. This is how the director described it. And I don't know what pea soup coloring is. I think it might be pea soup. I think it's just pea soup with oatmeal in it, I think. Or possibly cream of wheat. It looks more like cream of wheat.
I love cream of wheat.
Yeah. I had it for the first time in like 20 years about 2 weeks ago. And it was great.
It's what caused your flu.
All right. All right, that's it for the first pop quiz. Please give your contestants a hand, and we're going to move on to the next section of our game in which we meet your contestants. Are you guys excited to meet the people in front of you? All right. You should not be. We're going to start off with the freaks.
Boo.
First up.
These guys put the reeks in freaks.
Inside Nikki Ashworth are two dogs. No, wait, sorry. Inside Nikki Ashworth reside a spooky ghost and a jangly skeleton. Neither knows who got there first. They used to fight for space inside her earthly vessel, but compromised by kicking out her brain. No one on the outside has yet noticed this compromise. Nikki, if ghosts say boo, what do skeletons say?
What?
Okay. Give it up for Nikki, everybody. Next up among the freaks, Evan Klim loves dressing up for Halloween. Last year, Evan went as Superman so that he could cosplay as someone who has great eyesight and who can also lift more than 40 pounds at once. But this year, he's decided to change things up. Evan, why don't you tell us a little bit about your costume this year?
Well, Dan, thank you for asking. This year, I'm dressed up as the Cape Crusader, Batman. And because this year, I wanted to change up. Instead of being Superman this year, I wanted to be someone who actually owns a car. So,
Very good. All right. Please give it up for for Evan as Toronto Batman as Batman. And lastly, the foulest stench is in the air. Is it the fetid funk of 40,000 years? Grisly ghouls groaning in ghastly tombs? No, it's Keegan Hawkeswood closing in to seal your doom. There's no costume too sexy, no monster too scary, no candy too corny to dull the joy that Keegan feels about Halloween. Keegan, as a lover of Halloween, and apparently a lover on Halloween, what do you think is the scariest costume option this year?
So I know I'm dressed as sexy Woody, and obviously Woody himself is brave, and I'm very brave, but I gotta give it up. Mudang is a scary costume, and I know what you're all thinking. He's adorable, he's a little baby hippo, but if you see a bunch of adults running around just as Mudang, adult hippos are terrifying. They will destroy you. I don't want to see that shit on my streets. They will kill me.
Yeah. It's the ones in the trees that you really have to worry about.
Yeah.
Sorry. There are actually two Woodies on stage, as it turns out. All right.
That you can see.
Give it up. Give it up for Keegan, everybody. And for Nikki, who brought up Mudang last show, way ahead of the curve for the Mudang zeitgeist. Now we all know who Mudang is.
I'm up on my animal.
Yeah. All right. Next up, against the freaks are their mortal enemies, the Eeeeks. First up, something wicked this way comes, and it's Andrew Lizotte. Andrew actually used to write and design haunted ghost tours. Andrew, tell us something spooky from one of your tours.
Well, Dan, famous cookie mogul Mr. Christie of Chips Ahoy Cookies, and for whom Christie Pitts Park is named, well, his son had an affair with a woman he kept locked in a secret room of his mansion. Eventually, he got bored, forgot about her, and she went mad and killed herself. Also, steam is just ghost jizz.
Is that all true?
Yes, Dan. It's all jizz. I'm an expert. They don't just let anybody lead those tours.
I think I get the appeal of steampunk now. Also, I have to ask, was Mr. Christie's son's lover's name Lorna Doone? Is that where that came from?
Oh, that's funny.
No, but that's a very apt reference.
Okay.
Point to Dan.
Give it up for Andrew, everybody. Up next among the Eeeeks, Marc Hallworth has gone for Halloween as a doctor, a demon, and as Will Ferrell's impression of Robert Goulet. However, being from Calgary, all these costumes were hidden by a giant winter coat because it was always way too cold by October 31st. Marc, what was your greatest costume ever? One that actually won you some money?
Well, one year, not unlike this show right now, I had no money and no costume at the ready. So I had a piece of cardboard and a little string that I hung around my thing, and people said, "Hey, what are you?" And I went, "I'm bored." And it was so bad, it won me $50 for worst costume.
All right. Thank you for not even putting in that much effort tonight.
I did not realize everybody was giving me a costume.
Please give it up for Marc, everybody. And lastly, among the Eeeeks, he's creepy and he's kooky, mysterious and spooky, and also a little slutty, at least on Halloween. Joining us as his alter ego, Dr. Franken Furry. Oh, I get it now. It's Ryan Zeitz. Ryan, this is the second time that you've worn this costume on our Halloween special. Not to mention the time you wore it on the Disney episode for reasons that kind of escape me. Are you ever going to wear something different?
Well, so first of all, isn't the Rocky Horror Picture Show a Disney property now?
God, it probably is.
Right? So like on theme. But I mean, so I have like really, really severe ADHD. And so this show is the one time a year that I have like the motivation to shave my ass. It just gives me an excuse to manscape. So thank you for being my body double today.
All right.
That was like sincere and gross at the same time.
All right. Give it up for Ryan and his manscaping, everyone. All right, that was it for Meet Your Contestants. We're going to move on to the next portion of our game, which is What the Hell is This? And What the Hell is This? We show our contestants a series of weird and wonderful images and ask them the eternal question, what the hell is this? All right, Are you guys ready for your first weird and wonderful image? Okay, panelists, I ask you, in hopes that the video plays, what the hell is this? Yes, Nikki.
Boop.
Yeah.
Pegging gone wrong.
Or gone right. Yes.
This is why everyone's afraid of gender-neutral bathrooms.
Yes.
Yeah, she must have really left something really smelly enough that she wanted to kill someone there.
No
one
evidence.
can know what I've done.
That or she clogged the toilet. It's for real. Oh.
Yes.
At least she didn't use the urinal right next to him.
That's true. Immediately after this, she does flush his head in that urinal. Yeah.
The cost of meat is so expensive these days, you have to poach it yourself.
Yes, that's Galen Weston right there. Yeah.
Coming to Spike TV this fall. Eat your heart out.
I've got one, which is more than 2 shakes and you're just playing with that meat.
Yeah. Also, can I go back? Did you say she flushes his head in the urinal?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
You barely flush a urinal.
It's got that blue stuff in it too. Yeah.
She have to like wave her hand in front of a sensor, like, please.
This is before that technology existed. You should have seen how rough around the edges the glory hole in the stall is next to her.
For the listeners, we are just watching this on a loop. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
funny. Yeah. It gets better with every watch.
Yeah. Is that a harpoon? It is a fireplace poker.
Same thing, right?
I guess so.
I hunt whales with
Yeah, because you have
Whales
have
are
no
the
other
fires
use
of
for
the
fireplace
ocean.
pokers on the sea, so you just
Yeah.
take to hunting whales.
Moby
Nikki,
Dick.
it's what she used to wipe, by the way.
I think Dan's just showing off his privilege of growing up with a fireplace. That's what I think.
Fireplace poker, I hardly even know her.
All right. I think that's enough of that. So this is a scene from the 1994 John Waters movie Serial Mom, which I just watched recently. And the premise is that a normal-ish housewife goes along and kills everybody who vaguely annoys her for doing things like not separating their recycling and not rewinding their VHS tapes. This guy is probably the worst offender because he stood up her daughter to go on a date with someone else at the swap meet.
He looks as old as her.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
But he is playing a teen in a movie in 1994, so he has to look 40.
Nepotism.
All right. We're going to move on to the next one. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Okay.
Okay, I feel like that's them going to wake up Frankenstein's monster, be like, okay, we're going to make another sequel. Wake up, wake up. Nah. Okay.
Yo, go for it. Come on.
This is where the trend for high pants came from.
My turn now.
Yeah.
This is a lap dance I legitimately got at Zanzibar like 15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is Frankenstein right before he gets reported to HR for uncomfortable back rub.
You can love a short king, but you gotta let him go.
So this is actually Heimlich's monster. Dr. Heimlich invented the maneuver, but this is the monster who did it.
Okay, I feel like this is like a reason why you shouldn't wear really big boots like that. Because like, look how slow he's moving. He's got to wear like a pair of like Jordans or something.
That would definitely help.
Evan, those are corrective, you monster.
You're the wrong one.
I'm the monster. Oh.
When Santa Claus retires.
Oh, no.
I think it's just really rude. Like, Frankenstein's just tried to stand up, and this guy's like, I'm not helping you, bitch, and runs away. It's so rude.
Also, who did he think he was sitting on? You know what I mean? Like,
He must have thought that was Dr. Frankenstein, but that's the monster.
that was the monster.
It was the monster all along.
You're not a doctor.
All right. So this is a short scene from Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, 1948. And in fact, Costello here, who goes by a different name in the movie because I guess they're acting, is is unaware that he has just sat down on Frankenstein. The plot of this movie is that Frankenstein and Dracula end up in Florida after having been shipped to like a wax museum. And Dracula has revived the monster, but the monster needs a new brain, so they're going to harvest Costello's brain to put in the monster. And also the Wolfman is there. It's pretty cute. You can watch it for free. It's on the Internet Archive.
But does it pass the Bechdel test?
Yeah.
It might actually. It might, but I'd have to watch it again to be sure. All right. Are you guys ready for your next weird and wonderful image? Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Nice.
Yes, Evan.
That's the great bumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Give me that sweet pump tussie.
Oh my God.
Tessie.
This is very inappropriate. It's the very incestuous pump your kin.
Yeah.
This is too damn obvious.
I don't know what you're talking about.
This is what's known as a BBP, a big beautiful pumpkin.
This is what Ryan's chair would be seeing if it weren't for the towel.
Yeah.
Remember, this is a vulva, not a vagina.
Keegan, that's why I shaved my asshole.
It looks like you should have bleached, actually.
I have a bidet, good sir. How dare you?
Oh my gourd. Pumpkin fun.
Oh, very good.
You should be careful because sometimes people put a candle in there.
I've got one. This is American Pie Thanksgiving edition.
It's a rollicking gourd time.
Whoa. All right. I think that's enough of this one. This is just a pumpkin that grew like this that I found on the internet. As far as I know, it's not a Photoshop.
What was the search criteria, Dan? Be honest.
I don't remember. This is actually one that I've had saved for a future Halloween episode for 3 years.
I just thought of one.
Yeah.
Would you like some taint pie?
You very daftly and swiftly avoided the question.
Yeah.
What was the search criteria? Oh, I had it saved for other years. What was the search criteria?
I don't remember. I guess we'll never know. All right. Are you guys ready for your next weird and wonderful image? Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Oh, baby. This is Evan going down on his nerd wife.
Yeah.
My first thought when I saw that pussy pumpkin from the earlier slide.
Got to get all the seeds out, right?
I was thinking the same thing, but for me it was an ass. So
Yeah.
It's a Gene Simmons inspired physiotherapy video.
I literally was going to say the same thing.
Physiotherapy?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have to duel now. That's the rules. Yes. All West Side Story snap dancing duels. Yeah.
I don't think a Tootsie Pop stands a chance against this guy.
Yeah.
The original commercial for Fruit by the Foot.
Oh. Yeah.
The tongue twister.
Ah. Yeah.
The original commercial for Go-Gurt.
That's how you get all of the yogurt out of that sleeve. Yeah.
All right, this is what happens when you stick your tongue out in Alaska. Just freezes.
It does kind of have like little fractals coming out. That's. Yeah.
This is a man-chameleon hybrid.
This is what happens when you go down on Elsa.
This is what my chair would look like if I didn't have a towel covering my ass.
I have a genuine question. Is it
Yeah.
supposed to be freezing or is it supposed to be
No, it's
dripping?
dripping.
Okay.
It's also kind of on fire.
Yeah, so
I assumed it was dripping.
I will explain what this is at this point if nobody has anything else. This is from Uzumaki, which means spiral. It is a recent anime adaptation of the Junji Ito classic horror manga that is currently being aired by Cartoon Network. The first episode has just come out, and I think one more has come out since then. This is from the first episode. And the premise of Uzumaki is this town has spirals taking over it that drive people to insanity, and everything turns into spirals. And so the little spiral fractals coming off of his spiral tongue are part of the spiral. Oh, wow. And now that you guys have seen it, you're all infected with the spirals and will inevitably descend into madness.
I have an overpowering urge to drink through a crazy straw.
Also known as Tim Burton syndrome.
Okay, I have a boring fun fact for you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm
not Ryan.
What the fuck?
Specifically,
Well, Ryan,
I'm just giving you
specifically
permission.
you.
I'm just
I've got
giving
a
you permission.
great
Yes.
fun fact for you.
Please
Okay,
do tell.
so this first episode, the director of this first episode was fired because he spent like the budget on this first episode. So if you look at the second episode of the series, the animation is actually garbage because of how much he spent on the first one. They were like, no. And they hired a completely different team to do the rest of the series.
That's why the trailer is just a bunch of clips from the first episode, I assume, including this and, of course, this, which is kind of fun.
Cool. This actually looks pretty dope.
You said this is on Cartoon Network?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, they're just gonna air anything there.
Some people are saying this is maybe the first, like, somewhat successful Junji Ito anime adaptation, but we'll see, apparently, because if they ran out of money after the first episode, maybe it won't be. Now that I've watched this animation a lot of times, you can really tell that eyeball is 3D, and then nothing else here is computer animation. All right.
It's very hypnotizing.
We're going to move on. We're going to move on to the last weird and wonderful image. Panelists, I ask you, what the hell is this?
Jesus wept.
Oops. Go
In
ahead.
typical fashion, this is the Disney live-action version of that anime you guys were just talking about.
Yeah.
Jesus wept, more like Jesus needs to wipe.
Oh. Yeah, Marc.
I was gonna say that's all of his wife's doing, and he's going, Jesus whipped. He's whipped by his wife. Anyways, that's what happens. So gross.
It's pretty gross. There's a lot of tongue stuff in this episode, apparently.
Hey, buddy, you got a spot. Just you got a spot.
This is when you go to the wrong Korea for your plastic surgery.
Jesus.
I'm really annoyed how anatomically inaccurate this makeup is. That's all I can focus on right now.
Compared to...
That's not how your cheeks would look if they were suspended by chains.
I've never peeled a guy's face.
Is this what they mean when they talk about Asian hookers?
Oh.
Because he's hooked in the face.
Yeah.
This is after a sex scene with Hellraiser.
Well, actually, yes. That is what this is.
Oh, really?
Yes, this is the very end of Hellraiser.
Do I win? Did somebody win this show?
Yeah, you get points.
Okay.
I do think it's worth going back a question or two and revisiting. Nikki, do you have something to tell us?
After the show.
Please, somebody watch me after the show.
Yeah, so this is the end of Hellraiser, in which the antagonist, who is a guy who had been kidnapped by the Cenobites, who are sex torture demons, and accidentally brought back by his brother's wife, who he had an affair with, finally
all
gets
been there.
captured at the end and recaptured by the Cenobites, and is tortured and exploded. He's wearing his brother's face already.
That's why it's
That's
not
why it doesn't
anatomically
look
accurate.
realistic.
Thank you.
Yes.
Then I have no problem with this scene at all.
Yeah, oddly enough, I got this horrible back pain that I've had immediately after watching Hellraiser, so that may explain why I have never experienced so much pain in my life. I am now haunted by Pinhead. Yes.
It's a visit to the chiropractor, for sure.
Yeah. All right. That's enough of this. That was it for What the Hell Is This? Please give your panelists a hand. And we're going to move on to the next section of our game, which is another pop quiz. All right. The first question in the category is Jeepers Creepers. The Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt shares what characteristic with another horror icon? Yes, Nikki.
So the Crypt Keeper and Jigsaw are both part of Oprah's book club, but she's the real monster.
Yeah. Anyone who unleashes both Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil on an unsuspecting public deserves to be tortured by the Cenobites, I suppose. Yeah, go ahead.
He and Michael Myers both really hate Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. It's just they both had a really hard time breaking into the business, so they resent anybody who is a Nepo baby. Except for Drew Barrymore, for some reason. They really identify with her struggles.
Listen, we all do.
Yeah.
Beloved icon.
Well, they're friends with E.T., so.
Is E.T. a Nepo baby?
No, but there are other monster characters.
Okay. Yes.
Fun fact, he's the one that got Bela Lugosi hooked on morphine.
Yeah. That fateful trip to Tangier with Bill Burroughs and Lucy Maud Montgomery will go down in legend. Yeah.
What characteristics does he share? He also has 3 boobs like that babe from Total Recall.
Yeah. They're very flat, but they're there. If you look, you can find them. Yes.
He and the Babadook, both allergic to nuts.
Is that true? Is the Babadook allergic to nuts?
Sure.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I thought maybe that's how she defeated the Babadook. It's been a while since I'd seen it.
Just threw a package of planners at his face and ran away.
I mean, he was possessing her child, so maybe... Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper was driving the car that hit Stephen King.
Oh. Anyone else for the Crypt Keeper? Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper and Jason from Friday the 13th, you may not think that they're similar, but the Crypt Keeper is old and shriveled up, just like Jason's balls.
Yeah,
sad.
Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper and Vincent Price had like a pact to never come out of the closet.
Yeah.
The Crypt Keeper is just the blue version of the Blood Keeper. The Crypt
Very good. Very good. So because I grew up in LA, even in like distant suburban LA, every adult in our lives was totally convinced we would all be murdered by gang members. And so everyone I grew up with in the 90s never wore blue and red at the same time. And that's not even a thing. It was just made up. Well, like you can't... Mixing the colors as something that will get you shot by them is not a real thing. You can't wear the wrong color in the wrong territory, which was 25 miles away. But whatever. Whatever. Yeah. I guess it was okay if it was in the American flag design. But otherwise you could not mix red and blue. Like I never wore a red shirt with blue jeans my entire childhood. Also because people would have thought I worked at Target. Okay, we're done with this. The correct answer is, in fact, the Crypt Keeper shares the same eyes as the Chucky doll. Both puppets were fabricated by the same guy, whose name is Kevin Yeager. And so when he was making the Crypt Keeper, he used some leftover Chucky eyes. And I had a picture of it, and I forgot to put it in the slideshow.
Reduce, reuse,
but I will show it to
recycle.
the viewers. I will show it to the viewers at home right now. Ooh. But you can look this up online later. Everyone here. All right. We're going to move on to the next one. The category is... I
love that.
In the classic Halloween special, it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. What keeps ending up in Charlie Brown's trick-or-treat bag? Yes, Andrew.
Okay, does anyone remember those like giant marshmallows that were either like orange or purple colored, but they were shaped like a peanut? Was anyone else raised by their grandparents?
Yeah, circus peanuts.
Yes.
For the peanuts. Fun fact, Lucky Charms were invented when a General Mills employee took scissors and cut up circus peanuts into Cheerios. And that is why the marshmallows in Lucky Charms are so disgusting. Because they're circus peanuts. Yes.
He kept on getting free tickets to an improv show.
The only thing worse than circus peanuts. Yeah, Nikki.
It was actually religious pamphlets, but everyone knows that it was Franklin. They just didn't say anything.
Yeah, it was polite not to say anything. His
Hey.
dad probably made him.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah?
Why don't you tell everyone what religious pamphlets are called where you come from?
Well, they're not generic religious. So apparently there is a cultural difference in Canada and the U.S., which is that no one here knows what chick tracts are. Although if you describe them to people, they will kind of know what they are, which is religious pamphlets. Millions of them were printed in the 20th century that are comics, like "This was your life," and the premises of them are all that no one in America has ever heard of Jesus, and they all have these terrible problems. And then somebody says, "What if you turn to the Lord?" And then it fixes everything, and they go to heaven. And also, they don't like gays or Muslims or Jews or anybody else.
Does anyone in the audience know what he's talking about? They're called
Chick
chick
tracts.
tracts.
Yeah. Go look them up if you're Canadian. They have a whole TV tropes page. A very involved one. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Cher's greatest hits, and he has no idea how it got there. So relatable, that Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peppermint Patty. Hey.
Hey.
I don't know if this is the PG way to say it, but Snoopy's poopies.
That's pretty PG. I would say
The
it's
dumps,
verging
yeah.
on G. Yeah.
Invitations to Marcy and Peppermint Patty's lesbian commitment ceremony.
That's closer to PG-13.
All right.
That's okay.
They're too young to commit to each other. They have so much life left to live.
This is before it was legally binding, so it didn't really matter. It's like when you got married at summer camp on the last night. Yeah. A ring pop. Okay. Yeah. All right. Are we done with Charlie Brown's trick-or-treat bag? So the correct answer is a rock. A rock keeps appearing in his trick-or-treat bag. All right.
What does he do with it? Does he chuck it at a house?
No, I think he smokes it, actually.
I will say that if Charlie Brown had gotten a chick tract in his bag and he had turned to Jesus, maybe he would have finally been able to kick a fucking football. Because the one thing I do know is that Jesus cares a lot about how football goes. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one. The category is parental advisory. Michael Jackson's hit music video for Thriller is preceded by a written message from MJ himself. What does he want viewers to know? Yes, Keegan.
It was a set of directions for any lost boys to find their way to Neverland Ranch.
Yeah. Go ahead, Nikki.
So he announced he was going to marry Elvis Presley's daughter exactly in 11 years. People thought he was mad.
Honestly, it still doesn't sound like a real thing that happened in the world, does it? Yeah, Evan.
Thriller, hardly even know her.
That's what he said about Lisa Marie. Yeah.
It's actually just a warning that you might want to pee before that music video gets started. It's a really long fucking music
It is
video.
surprisingly long. It is
like 13
14 minutes
yeah.
long. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
It's a disclaimer that the moonwalk is just an illusion and not the work of Satan himself, because Satan sent him an NDA that he did not want to be associated with Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Now, is that spelled H-I or H-E-E? Okay. Yeah.
No members of the Jackson 5 were harmed in the filming of this video, unless you count the things their dad did to them.
Oh.
Sad. What a bummer.
All right. Yeah.
It was a direct message to RuPaul to just tell him to keep casting LaToya in RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't know. This made sense in my head. I wanted to make a RuPaul's He keeps booking her for some reason. She's not a fun judge. I don't know. She's really boring. Yeah.
Oh, that makes more sense that she's a judge. I was thinking, why is LaToya Jackson a drag queen?
No. He keeps bringing her back as a judge.
Okay.
I would like to say that got 33% of the crowd applauding. That was sick.
All right. Unless anybody has anything else, I will read Michael Jackson's message in its entirety, which is, due to my strong personal convictions, I wish to stress that this film in no way endorses a belief in the occult.
Damn.
Just so you know. He's totally above board in every way. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question. The category is Slaughterhouse Vibe. In the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, why was the cook upset with his younger brother Leatherface after the latter's teen chopping rampage? Yes, Evan.
Okay, so you got upset because Leatherface got takeout when they clearly had people in the fridge.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew.
He put back an empty milk carton.
That's why you always leave a note. In fact, that's how J. Walter Weatherman lost his arm, was from Leatherface. It was a webisode that never ended up anywhere in Arrested Development. Go ahead.
He didn't text to say what time he'd be home.
Aw.
Really? Aw?
It's sweet.
Brotherly love.
Brothers that care.
Who cares about him?
Yeah. Yep.
He used the chainsaw to perform an abortion.
Oh.
Who's the real monster, Leatherface or Texans?
Yep.
He didn't properly store the teens in a freezer, so now they're going to have to eat all this meat in the next day.
Oh, no. It's like that I Love Lucy episode where she buys the side of beef. Yeah.
He got blood all over the good guest towels.
Oh, don't you hate that? The ones that you're not allowed to use anyway. They're just decorative.
Brothers say that all the time.
Yeah.
He went on that rampage killing teens, but he didn't schedule in enough time to ban any books.
It is still Texas. Yeah.
Again, on the Texas note, he came in dressed like Keegan's dressed like right now. Is a Texas cowboy hat.
Okay.
We just really respect Keegan and his choices.
Thank you.
I mean, if anything, Leatherface dresses more like Ryan later on. All right. So the correct answer is that during the rampage at the house, Leatherface had used his chainsaw to cut down the front door. And, just open the door nicely.
Yeah, they don't live in a barn.
Yeah. Wait till Grandpa hears about this one. All right, we're going to move on to the last question. The category is I Want to Move In Together. Bram Stoker's Dracula was heavily inspired by what lesbian love story? Yes, Nikki.
A Tale of Two Titties.
Oh, you think there would be four, actually, but... Yes, Keegan.
The picture of Dorian Gray's Big Naturals.
I sense a theme. Yeah, Ryan.
Pardon my French, but the cunt of Monte Cristo.
We don't have to pardon it. We can see it right now. He crosses his legs immediately. Yes.
Tess of the Boobervilles.
I like that one a lot. Yeah, Evan.
Agnes Gay.
Agnes Gay. Marc.
Barchester Towers.
Barchester Towers. Excellent. Yes.
Love in the Time of Cunnilingus.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Moby No Dick.
Moby No Dick. Poor Moby.
The Myth of the Clitoris.
Yeah.
Great Expectations of Orgasms.
Ah. Yes.
Oliver Twister Nipples.
Oh. I guess vampires are kinky. Go ahead.
Hysteria and the Magic Wand.
The Hitachi magic wand, apparently, which was invented to cure hysteria. All comes full circle. Okay. I think we're done with Victorian lesbian novels. The correct answer is Carmilla by the Irish author Sheridan Le Fanu. And it shares quite a lot in common with Dracula. It was published about 25 years earlier. But Carmilla can go out in the daytime. It's one of her few advantages over Dracula. All right, so that's the answer to that. And that's it for this pop quiz. Please give your panelists a hand. And we are going to move on to the next section of our show, which is called Not Bloody Likely. In Not Bloody Likely, we give our panelists a series of unusual situations, and they give us an idea of what might happen. So we're just going to take a minute to reset the stage. All right, I think we're ready to go. Are we ready to go? Yeah, excellent. All right. I will give you our first unlikely situation, which is disappointing horror movie sequels.
Jaws 2 on land.
Saturday the 14th. Ooh!
The Minions Go Hawaiian.
The Minions was a horror movie?
Heroin Bear. Very depressing, but awesome soundtrack.
The anti-LGBT A Nightmare on Church Street.
We're going to make the greatest pumpkin ever. Let's make pumpkins great again, okay?
Good grief.
Ghost Duster.
The werewolf buys a calendar and just gets his shit together.
So the funniest thing about Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is that the Wolfman is a character and he transforms every night. It's the full moon every night for like 2 weeks. It makes no sense at all. It's just always the full moon in Florida, I guess. Which does make sense, actually. That explains a lot of Florida man stories. Okay, go ahead.
American Werewolf in London, Ontario.
Oh. Of all the places to move.
The Centipede.
He's a real centipede.
Hereditary arthritis.
Hereditary tremors.
This is just real. The Exorcist 2, Satan possesses a bee. Yeah, no, that's real.
Rosemary's Baby, Sitter.
Oh.
The Invisible Man gets canceled.
I think Rosemary's Babysitter is just Quaaludes, isn't that how that worked back then? Okay, we're done with that. We're going to move on to unexpected sexy costumes. We expected yours.
J.D. Vance's Couch.
Ooh. It's really more of a love seat, isn't it?
Rosemary's Baby.
The Mummy, but tangled up in him is a newborn in like a Bjorn situation. You're like, oh, he's just a good dad.
That is kind of hot.
Yeah.
There is something hot about new dads. I think it's that they don't use condoms.
Slutty nurse who's cooled my chlamydia diagnosis.
If she can give you the shot, then she has 100% proof. Yep.
A sensitive wizard that casts words of affirmation.
A Torontonian who owns a house.
A little throwback. We got to go with Sexy Mudang. All greased up.
Yay, sexy Mudang.
Sexy Pesto the Penguin.
The werewolf, but he's actively in therapy.
Sexy Lightning McQueen. Ka-chow.
Lightning McQueen was already sexy. That hood? Oh my God. Okay, I think that's enough of those. We're going to move on to Canadian Gothic.
Hi, welcome to Tomorrow's. What can I get for you? Can I just get a large coffee? Black?
And then the Winnipeg Jets disappeared for 15 years.
Oh.
And then the government decided to have a two-party system, and the vote wasn't split. DP fan.
The Leafs win. Oh, wait a minute. I was thinking of Canadian Black Mirror.
And all of them thought they were giving her, but they had already gave her.
Going for a rip. R.I.P.
So after you've murdered the body, you want to cover it in maple syrup because it hides the smell and it clots the blood inside, so no one else has to deal with it.
So dumb. Spooky Tookies.
Oh, that's cute. All right, I think we're done with Canadian Gothic, which is just like American Gothic, except the kids dressed like that are smoking darts. We're going to move on to Impractical Magic.
I don't know how they did it, but they managed to take a hat out of a rabbit.
What did you think felt was made of?
Abracadabra duclutz, your dicks are now your butts.
Your favorite sports team will always win, but it's the Argos.
Oh, no.
You can grant wishes to people, but only after you fart uncontrollably.
Well, if it's uncontrollable anyway, you may as well grant the wish and be generous about it.
You automatically eliminate the pretzels from every party mix bowl, but you accidentally get rid of chocolate flavored pretzels.
I would take that. Yeah.
You write the best selling children's novel of all time, but then you wind up being a transphobe. Ooh.
All right, that's enough of that. And on a downer. Our last one, Monster, dating app of the damned.
Like Grindr, but Monster.
Yeah, or Tinder or anything else.
My safety word is Beetlejuice.
Oh, he's only a kilometer away. 5 meters away. 1 meter behind me. But anyways.
Tinder, but the one for witches. Get it?
No fats, no femmes, no Godzillas, no Blackulas.
No Godzillas, no taste.
Check it out. This hot ghost sent nudes, I think.
Come on, say it. We'll say it together, buddy. We'll say it together. Monster, I hardly knew it.
Yay!
1 casual hookup, 2 casual hookups, Is this voice turning you on, baby?
1 shot of penicillin. 2 shot. Okay.
Great, I matched with Casper. Oh no, he ghosted me.
Ah! If Casper's really the ghost of Richie Rich, though, you should get in there. Go ahead.
I want to suck your dick.
Yeah. With the metal straws. It's sounding. Oh.
Oh, baby, keep going. I'm going to ectoplasm.
All right, I think that's enough of that. Speaking of Hellraiser, everything in Hellraiser is covered in ectoplasm, let's say. White, streaky ectoplasm. Okay. That's it for Not Bloody Likely. Please give your panelists a hand. And we're going to move on to the last section of our game, which is called Debate Club. In Debate Club, we ask our panelists important questions of the day, and they determine the answer. How do I normally introduce this? In Debate Club, our panelists debate important questions of the day, and you, the audience, get to decide who wins. That's what it is. All right. Up first, debating the question, which is scarier, Bloody Mary or the Candyman, are Nikki Ashworth and Andrew Lizotte. Arguing in favor of Bloody Mary is Nikki Ashworth. Nikki, you have 1 minute, starting now.
There's a name you don't dare repeat, and it's not Beetlejuice, and it's not Chaka Khan. What started as a ritual that encouraged young women to catch a glimpse of their future husband through a backwards-facing mirror morphed into something even more sinister, an apparition that can be summoned in a school change room. Nothing is more terrifying than coming back from swim class to shimmy out of your bathing suit in a way no one sees your tampon string, because you're only 11 years old, but tampons are for whores, but you'll get in trouble if you don't swim. A paradox. When someone turns off the lights, Bloody Mary, says Tanya to the mirror, her braces shine as if by moonlight. Bloody Mary, says Robin, her sopping wet ponytail soaking her new Kids on the Block t-shirt. Bloody Mary, you say, because at this point no gore could be worse than your period. Then, through blurry, chlorinated eyes, you see her appear. She is dry, but appears far more tortured, and she has no time for your bullshit.
All right. Thank you, Nikki. That was frightening.
Yeah, there's a whole mirror system. Yeah.
All right, arguing that the Candyman is scarier than Bloody Mary is Andrew Lizotte. Andrew, you have 1 minute starting right now.
Okay, so first of all, the original version of Bloody Mary,
That's two.
You had to say her name 13 times while walking backwards upstairs. People are dying of falling down the stairs before she even gets there. It's not really, you're not going to bump into her. Secondly, there's loose plotting, okay? Bloody Mary just has a knife for some lazy punch-up reason. Candyman has a hook that's integral to his backstory. He commits to the bit. I can't remember why he has the hook. I couldn't find it when I looked it up on the internet, but I know it's for a reason. Also, a ghost teenage girl. You know what's scarier than ghosts? Bees. And you know what Candyman is? A ghost full of bees. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Nikki, you have 30 seconds to respond, starting right now.
I am brave, as your face morphs into grotesque distortions, for I am already isolated with no friends that can yet relate to the changes in my body. But perhaps your struggles are not so different. You, adjusting to the social pressures forced upon tween girls, her, some random Victorian chick stuck in a washroom mirror. The lights flicker back on, Mary disappears, and your teacher calls from the hall that you have only 5 minutes left to change. But I won't cry for you. See, when you're gone, I'll still be Bloody Mary.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Nikki. Andrew, you have 30 seconds and the last word.
I am not afraid of a Judy Blume novel that is obviously a ripoff of Hanako-san, the suicide girl that visits people in Japanese toilets. Look it up. And then lastly, I will say that Candyman is harder to get rid of because his unfinished business is rooted in racism. So we have to solve racism before we can get rid of Candyman. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. All right, and now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Nikki that Bloody Mary is scarier? Woo! I always thought it was Mary Tudor. Like, she executed thousands of Protestants. That's much scarier. Or do you agree with Andrew that we're going to solve racism before teen girl unhappiness? All right. Nikki and Bloody Mary, take it. Congratulations. All right. Our next debate, another which is scarier, arguing that real life is scarier than fiction, is Marc Hallworth. Arguing in favor of fiction being scarier than real life is Evan Klim. Marc, you have 1 minute. Starting right now.
Cool. Well, first of all, obviously real life is scarier than fiction because I'm fucking scared. I'm in real life, and I'm scarier than anything you'll see in fiction. Look at me. I feel like I look like one of those Halloween decorations that you walk past, and it's like, ha, 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 ha. Like, that's my regular vibe. I'll tell you the scariest thing, because I'm like a very cheerful, joyful person, you know me. The scariest thing I've ever done, one time I legitimately laughed myself awake. You know how fucking insane that is, or whatever. I was legitimate. I was sleeping, or whatever. This is what my girlfriend saw. She saw. That's like how the Joker wakes up, or whatever. It's like the comedy equivalent of a wet dream. That's what so, man, yeah. Next time, don't be worried about the Wolf Man or any of this horse shit. You know what's actually scary? The guy on the bus who wants to be everyone's friend. That guy's fucking nuts. And I'm trying to like out crazy that guy. I'm like, hey man, you want to get off to the gates of hell? You're gonna need a bunch of transfers.
All right. Thank you, Marc. All right, arguing that fiction is scarier is Evan Klim.
All right, so as Batman, I never kill, but tonight I'll make an exception with this debate here, okay? So when you get down to it, people love to get scared. That's why Stephen King sells so many books and why they all end up on the New York Times bestsellers list. Of course, if real life was scarier, you know what would be on the New York Times bestseller? The New York Times. Yeah. And I'm sure like 100 years ago, real life was scary, but that's because people back then did dumb stuff like live next to bears. Now we know better. Now we know better, which is why fiction has taken the mantle of what scares us. And that's also why people nowadays say stuff like, have you watched The Bear? It's great, but it gives me so much anxiety. That's right. Fiction has made the bear scarier than real bears. Yes. And lastly, fiction can show us the horror of everyday life in a way that real life can't. For example, the movie Carrie showed us why you should avoid prom at all costs. And that's why I skipped my prom, because nobody wanted to be caught dead wearing clothes from La Chateau. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Evan. Marc, you have 30 seconds to respond.
Okay, let's not fucking listen. I forgot that Evan was going to be in a Batman costume for that. Batman makes no goddamn sense. Riddle me this, fucking idiot. Why would anybody move to Gotham City? This town makes... If you got transferred to the Gotham City branch of your company, you'd be like, I'm dead. Obviously, they're hiring because Bane killed everybody in HR. The only person who's having a good time in Gotham is the person that runs the costume shop. Because it's like business is booming. The Penguin bought all my umbrellas. That's amazing. Oh, okay. Anyways, I had more examples.
Yes. All right. Evan, you have 30 seconds in the last word.
All right, let's not listen
now.
to this joker over here, okay? First of all, I'm not even convinced that Marc is a real person, okay? Just look at him. And plus, if real life was scarier, we would watch horror movies in a whole different way, okay? Like, you would watch a movie like The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and all you would be thinking is, wow, they have it so much easier than I do there. Anyways, that's not the case there. Fiction is scarier. That's all. Have a good night.
All right. Thank you, Evan. All right, and now you, the audience, get to decide. Do you agree with Marc that his sleep laughing thing sounds terrifying? Or do you agree with Evan that you need fictional characters like Batman to get rid of all the scary things that lurk in the night, and that's way scarier than Marc's guy on the bus? Yeah. Okay, one more time for real life. One more time for fiction. All right, fiction wins. Congratulations, Evan. And for our last debate of the evening, the question is it time to stop trick-or-treating? Arguing in favor of stopping is Ryan Zeitz. Arguing in favor of keep on trucking is Keegan Hawkeswood. Ryan, you have 1 minute starting now.
Number one reason to get rid of trick-or-treating. Do you want your child to come to the door and look at this? For the people listening at home, I'm gesturing to myself.
Yeah.
Reason number two, do you want your kids answering the door and looking at Keegan? He's also dressed like a slut. This is terrifying. Protect the kids. Reason number two, we're teaching kids bad morals. We're developing an entire welfare class. Just knocking on doors. Hey, give me candy. Reason number three, everybody lives in fucking condos in Toronto. Who the hell, there's just, it's for suburbia, and we're getting rid of that. We're doing 15-minute cities now, right? Mm-hmm. Also, people said I'm just salty, people said that I was too old for trick-or-treating. They said I needed to bring a kid if I was going to trick-or-treating, and don't encourage me to kidnap children. What else do I got? It's also terrible for your teeth. That's why Trudeau had to put in universal dental care.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. All right. Keegan, you have 1 minute starting now.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I'd like to say nobody's going to come to my house. Like Ryan said, I live in an apartment in Toronto. That's not going to happen. But I will go out on the street and have fun. And I'm going to go somewhere where your kids aren't going to go. I'm going to go to their house where they're not there. And I'm going to get their candy, okay? That's how it's going to be. We love candy, even as adults. I mean, I've seen people at the show eating candy tonight. We on stage have been eating candy. What's better than candy? Free candy, okay? And as adults, if we all agreed as adults to go trick-or-treating, we could up the candy game. We could give out those tiny little liquor bottles as candy. Like, come on, fuel my alcoholism, please, other adults. I love it. It's like a little free shot. Everybody's already dressed sexy. They're going to be horny adults everywhere. Let's keep the party going. Make Halloween fun again, adults.
All right. Okay, Ryan, you have 30 seconds to respond, starting right now.
Free candy? Who has to buy the candy? The fucking Halloween trick-or-treating is propped up by Big Grocery. You know, the only person who profits from Halloween is Galen Weston with his obscenely high-priced candy bars. Unless you're bringing, are you bringing candy to people's houses when you're going there? Like, you gotta bring your own goddamn candy. You gotta buy it. And then also, I've seen Clockwork Orange. I'm not opening my door to strangers in masks.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. Keegan, you have 30 seconds and the last word.
I've got the answer to who's going to buy my candy. People like you who stay home on Halloween and give out candy to kids rather than go trick-or-treating yourselves. So there, I found the loophole. There are people who will stay home as adults because they're like, that's not for me. But then us candy lovers can go out and rob them of all of their candy. Okay, just rob the rich and feed yourselves. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Keegan. All right. Now you, the audience, get to decide which of these excellently dressed men. Oh, we don't need that. Okay. Do you agree with Ryan that it is, in fact, time to stop trick-or-treating? Or do you agree with Keegan that we got to keep that trick-or-treating free candy train going? Galen Weston's got to get rich somehow. All right. Point to Keegan. Congratulations. And now, let me just do the math here. It turns out that with that final point, our two teams are tied 2,137 points to 2,137 points. I don't know how this keeps happening. So you guys will have to decide which team you liked best tonight overall. Did you like the Freaks, Nikki, Ashworth, Evan, Klim, and Keegan Hawkeswood? Or did you like the Eeeeks, Andrew Lizotte, Marc, Hallworth, and Ryan Zeitz? Oh, that sounds pretty close. One more time for the Freaks. One more time for the Eeeeks. All right. The Freaks take it. Congratulations, Freaks. All right. This has been Comedy Game Showdown. I have been your host, Dan Donnelly. The Freaks, once again, were Nikki, Ashworth, Evan, Klim, and Keegan Hawkeswood. The Eeeeks were Andrew Lizotte, Marc, Hallworth, and Ryan Zeitz. Our next episode, Game Sharks, all about video games, will be in this room November 12th at 8 p.m. You can follow us on Patreon, patreon.com/andascotchegg, and thank you to our patrons. And if you are a patron, it's the cheapest way to get tickets if you live in town. Follow us on social media. We're andascotchegg everywhere, and I'm tired of my back hurts. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We'll see you next time.